Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Hidden Scriptures word study. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your schedule. I appreciate your interest in my word studies, and if you find it interesting or informative or helpful at the end of it, please do not hesitate to share it with your family members and friends. I sure would appreciate it. Okay, let's get right into it. Today's word study, this is going to be number 215. And the title I have for today's word study, it's controversial, but it is what it is. The evidence is clear that the true English name of our Messiah is really Joshua, not Jesus. Like many of you, I was raised up in the church. Let me adjust my volume here. I was raised up in the church, being taught that the name of our Messiah was Jesus. I'm sure that all of you had this same experience. We all called the Messiah Jesus. Much later in life, I attended a home fellowship where I heard someone use a name for our Messiah that I had never heard before. And I was, like I mentioned, I was raised in the church. And I never heard this name before. The hair on the back of my neck stood up when I heard this strange name, because I was instantly under the impression that I was right in the middle of a cult. I never will forget that. I mean, this happened, I don't know, man, like 13 or 14 years ago now. But that was, I never will forget it. I can tell you exactly where we were. But I won't forget it. It had such an effect on me that, yeah, man, when I heard that name, I thought, golly, I'm right in the middle of a cult. These people don't use the name Jesus. So, I wanted to find out more on why the people in this home fellowship were so comfortable in using the name of our Messiah that I had never heard before. This curiosity of mine started me down the path of searching for the truth concerning the Messiah's real name. You know, because if these folks who I'm guessing were raised to believe that his name was Jesus, but now they're using this strange name that I had never heard before, I wanted to know why. In the process of searching for the truth over the following years, I eventually learned that the letter J didn't even exist in our alphabet, in our English language alphabet, until some 500 years ago. So how on earth could the name of our Messiah be Jesus? Okay, this is what I was starting to learn. I was starting to dig into this. It's impossible. I found out that it is impossible that his name is Jesus, since it's an historically correct fact that the letter J, didn't even exist. So it's impossible that his name is Jesus. So why were we taught that it was? And why are billions of people today taught by the church that his name is Jesus? This really bothered me and opened up a huge can of worms, because if the church had not taught the truth about the name of our Messiah, what else have we not been taught the truth about? As it turns out, quite a lot, actually. Okay, so I just, in putting together this script for this particular word study, I went to the internet. All this information is so easy for anybody with a computer and an internet connection and a desire. All this information is so easy to find. So I went to the internet and I just copy and pasted this from the internet concerning the letter J. And this is what it said. The letter J was added to the alphabet in the 17th century, becoming distinct from the letter I during this time. Excuse me. It was not fully recognized as a separate letter until after the life of William Shakespeare, who lived from 1564 to 1616. Man, he didn't live a long time. 36, 46, what, 50-something years? William Shakespeare only lived, my math is not very good, but yeah, 50-something years. So that was back in the day, man, when life expectancies were pretty short for people. But anyway, yeah, so that's the information from the internet. And in the blue, I have the actual website where I pulled this from. Let me get rid of these red lines. So that in the blue, that is the website where I pulled this information from. The letter J was added to the alphabet in the 17th century, which means that the name Jesus did not exist until the letter J was added to our alphabet, and it wasn't added until the 17th century, sometime in the 1600s. So yeah, this is something I learned, and any of you guys watching this can learn, because this is all so easy to find out. And I love the internet. I love the research possibilities that the internet has brought us. So yeah. So since it was becoming quite clear to a novice Bible researcher, such as myself, that this name Jesus was nothing more than a fabrication as a result of a linguistic evolutionary process of going from Hebrew to Aramaic to Greek to Latin and finally to English in the early 1600s. I wanted to go back to the roots and discover what his real name was. I wanted to discover the name given to him through his parents, by his father, through the angel messenger Gabriel. We can find Gabriel's name mentioned in Luke chapter 1 and verse 26. It was this name that he was called, the name given to him by the Father via the messenger angel Gabriel. It was this name that he was called by his family members, by his mother, his friends, his followers, his disciples, and his enemies. His own people were his enemies. The elite religious ruling class were his enemies. And I wanted to know what his name was. I eventually became aware of the Strong's Concordance, and I've got my father's, let me go get this. I've got my father's Strong Concordance. Let me just go get it, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Now, let me go ahead and get back to my main screen here so I can show you guys what I want to show you. Okay, I mentioned I'm out of breath. It took me a while to dig through my bookcase out there in the other room, but anyway, I have all my stuff I have on the computer. So I don't use these hard copy books anymore. But this is when my father passed away. He wasn't my biological father, but he was my father. He was the man that raised me from before I was 1 year old. So he's my father, my earthly father, I should say. But anyway, this was in his library. This is Strong's Concordance. And this has to be, the first Strong's Concordance that was published was back in 1895 or somewhere back then. But anyway, I of course, I had my own modern Strong's Concordance, but I found this in my father's, after he passed away. Me and my wife, we flew in from the Philippines and helped my sister go through things and get everything organized. But I came across this in his library. This was my dad's Strong's Concordance. And I looked through here, and there is not a date that this was published. But man, when I saw this, I brought it home to the Philippines with me, and so this is really an old Strong's Concordance here. So this is a treasured possession of mine because it belonged to my dad. Now, I think in the last video or two, I don't know when I mentioned it, but I mentioned that I had the Bible, the King James Bible, that I'm 70. I'll be 70 here in a few days. But I had the Bible. I have it kind of dusty on the camera there, but anyway, I keep it. This is the Bible that my mom and dad gifted me and my stepbrother and stepsister. I don't know how old they were, but when I received mine, this is the Bible that it's a little worse for wear, but I still have it, man. But I was gifted this Bible from my mom and dad when I was 13 or 14 years old. And I've got some notes in here that I don't want to show you everything I've got here from when I was a kid. I wrote this thing up pretty good when I was a kid, but look what I wrote in the top corner there. I don't know if my camera will pick it up or not. Baptized with the Holy Ghost, April 9, 1972. That's when I received the gift of the Holy Spirit and spoke in tongues for the first time. So yeah, this is another precious possession of mine, King James. Like I said, I'll be 70 here in a few weeks, and I received this from my mom and dad when I was, I don't know, man, 13, 14 years old, something like that. But I still have it. So that is another very prized possession of mine, and it made it with me all the way to the Philippines. Okay, let's get back to the word study. I apologize for getting off on that rabbit trail. Okay, so where were we? I forgot. Okay, yeah, right here. Get my mouse over to my other monitor. I eventually became aware of the Strong's Concordance, and I started to learn more about the origins of the Messiah's real name. In the Strong's Concordance, the name Jesus is listed as G2424. Let's go to one of my free Bible programs and learn what the Strong's says that G2424 is referring to. Okay, so let me minimize this. And let's go to my Bible analyzer. Okay. So you'll see on the right here that the name Jesus is G2424. But look what happens. I hope you can read that. That it comes from the original Hebrew 3091. We'll go there in a minute. But the name Jesus is G2424. But you see what it, let me click on it, maybe make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, okay, I already have it down here. So in the Strong's, it has Jesus, but in other words, that's what IE means. I had to look that up in Google this morning, actually. I typed in, what does IE mean? And it means in other words. So according to the Strong's, G2424 is Jesus. In other words, it says Jehoshua, but there's no J in the Hebrew, there's no J in the Greek. There's only J in the English, and the J didn't come into the English until the early 1600s. I think that's what we read. The early 17th century. So we pronounce that whenever we see a J, it should always be pronounced as a Y. So according to the Strong's, G2424 right here for Jesus, it is Jesus, in other words, Yehoshua, the name of our Lord. Okay, so the King James says Jesus, in other words, Yehoshua. Okay, so the original Hebrew that it came from is H3091, and it shows us right here, Yehoshua. In other words, i.e., in other words, Joshua. So we have, let me click on this. So when we go from G2424, the original, the origins of G2424 is H3091. When we go to H3091, it is Yehoshua. They have it pronounced right here, Yehoshua, Yehoshua. In other words, Joshua. Okay, and then they have different deviations of the name. Yehoshua, Yehoshua, Joshua. Or it could be Yehoshua, Yehoshua. They just have an H on the end here. So we have the English equivalent of Joshua, or it could be pronounced Yahshua, since there's no J in the English or in the Greek. So I find this fascinating. Now, okay, so we have G2424. Now look up here. Right here. Can you see where I'm at? Yes, you can. Jesus, that is Joshua. Okay, so when I say, or when I said at the beginning of this word study, that his English, the correct English name of our Messiah is Joshua, not Jesus. Because Jesus, the name wasn't even fabricated until the, 17th century, according to that article I showed you. But his name is Joshua or Yahshua. Okay, now I found some other stuff that I found very interesting. And Moses said unto Joshua, it's Yehoshua, but we know him as Joshua. And Moses said unto Yehoshua or Joshua. Okay, now this right here, Numbers, I hope you can see it. And you folks that are watching this on your phone, I'm sorry about that. Show you. This is my little Tiffany right here. She is such a teacup little dog here. I've got two others, and they're like 3 times her size. But this is little Tiffany. You can't see her face until she sticks out her little pink tongue. But she is Daddy's little girl. Okay, hon. Put you down here. Okay, you come up here. And this is my original girl. This is the mama of all of our puppies. This is Sachi. Sachi, can you say hi to the folks? Say hi. This is little Sachi. So we have 6 dogs here. We love them. We love all of them. All right, watch out. I'm coming up. Okay, where was I? Okay, yeah. So reading Numbers 13:16. This is where Moses, changes the name of Hoshea, the son of Nun, to Yehoshua, or as we've come to know him, Joshua. So that's proof right there in the Authorized King James Version that Yehoshua and Joshua are the same names. Yehoshua is a long form name of what we know to be Joshua or Yahshua or Yeshua. So I'm just, man, this stuff is so interesting to me. Okay, so let's get back. Oh, let me go. We're going to leave the Bible Analyzer. The screen is cut off on top, but this is the Bible Analyzer here. Okay, for you guys that are wanting to see, it's called the Bible Analyzer 5. Now I'm on I don't use Microsoft Windows. I'm on Linux. I'm a Linux user. So this was a free Bible program that was available in Linux. So I don't know if you guys can download that in Windows, but don't worry about it. There is an excellent program for Windows that I can't get any longer, but it's called eSword. Lowercase e dash uppercase s and then lowercase WORD. Man, for you Windows user, I highly recommend eSword. I loved eSword, and I still, even with what I have available to me now, I still miss eSword. And I'm hoping one of these days they will make it available on Linux, but so far it's not available on Linux. Okay, so let me go ahead and drop this one, and I want to go to the lexicon. Okay, I think I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself here. So if you will pardon me, folks, I will edit this out. But okay, let's get back to the word study. Okay, in the Strong's Concordance, I think I read this, but I'm going to read it again. The name Jesus is listed as G2424, and we've already seen that. Okay, so let's continue. So according to what we've just read in the Bible Analyzer 5 program and what the Strong's has showed us, G2424 is referring to Jesus and Joshua equally. Okay, we saw that. Referring to Jesus and Joshua equally. Since we know from the article above concerning the letter J not being introduced into the English language alphabet until the early 1600s, common sense and logic tells us, or should tell us, that it is impossible that G2424 can be correct in including the name Jesus as the real name of our Messiah. It's impossible that the real name in our English is Jesus. It's absolutely impossible. This reality leaves only one name possible for our Messiah in the English, which is Joshua, or Yahshua, or Yeshua. Since the damage has already been done concerning the true English rendering of Messiah's name, those of us who are now including into our walk of faith in Messiah obedience to the Mosaic law, because we are obeying our Messiah when he tells us in Matthew 23, 1 through 3, that he wants his followers to obey the Mosaic law. Matthew 23, 1 through 3. We generally use the Messiah's Hebrew name in its shortened form, which is Yeshua or Yeshua. It is quite noticeable that those involved in the false religion of lawless Sunday morning churchianity refuse to let go of the 500 plus, give or take, year old fabricated name Jesus, while those of us who have answered the Father's call to come out of that darkness, the darkness of lawless Sunday morning churchianity, embrace and love whatever we believe our Messiah's Hebrew name to be. I believe his Hebrew name, the shortened form, is Yeshua. Other folks use the long form, Yehoshua. Okay, I've seen other forms of what folks believe his Hebrew name is. That's fine. Whatever you guys believe his Hebrew name is based on your own research, at least you know that his name is not Jesus. Okay, now, I wanted to show you guys what is in the New American Standard Bible Lexicon, and let me go there now. Let me see, let's go here. And this is the New American Standard Bible Lexicon. Can you guys see that? There you go. Okay, this is the New American Standard Bible Lexicon. Okay, Acts 7:45. I'm still getting ahead of myself. Yeah, I'm still getting ahead of myself. I'm so anxious to show you guys this that I'm getting ahead of myself. So note this passage, Acts 7:45. Okay, here is the passage right here. Now I want you guys to pay attention. Okay, Acts 7:45 in the King James Version. I'm not going to read the verse, but you can see it there. In the King James Version, Acts 7:45, they have the name Jesus. That's G2484. And then we come down to the New King James Version, same passage, but we have Joshua, G2424, same Greek. Okay? And then the Christian Standard Bible, we have Joshua. The New International Version, we have Joshua. But yet in the King James Version, we have Jesus. Okay, once again, Hebrews 4, chapter 4 and verse 8, King James Version, Jesus. G2424, New King James Version, Joshua. Same passage, same Greek word. King James Version, Jesus. New King James Version, Joshua. G2424, English Standard Bible, Joshua. G2424. New International Version, Joshua. G2424. Okay, I could have showed you 20 more, at least 20 more modern day Bible versions that has Joshua. But the King James has Jesus. Now, why did the King James do this? Well, because Joshua is on equal footing with the name Jesus as being the name of our Messiah. The only difference is the name Jesus wasn't fabricated until the 17th century. So that leaves us with the name Joshua as the English name of our Messiah. Okay, now let me go to the New American Standard Bible lexicon that I have gone to prematurely before. So let's minimize this, and then let's go back to the American Standard Lexicon. Okay, so I showed you Acts 7:45 and then the passage in Hebrews. But Acts 7:45, New American Standard Bible Lexicon. We come down here and we see Joshua. Let me bring it down here. Okay, you can see this. Joshua right here. Okay. G2424, Acts 7:45, Joshua, G2424. Now look at this. Jesus or Joshua, take your pick. The name, singular, the name of the Messiah. So Jesus and Joshua are on equal footing as being the English rendered name of our Messiah. But either way, Jesus or Joshua comes from the Hebrew origin Yehoshua. Okay? So Jesus or Joshua are on equal footing. The only thing that makes the name Joshua superior to the name Jesus is the age of the name Joshua, since Jesus was not fabricated until the 17th century. So this is why I claim that the English name of our Messiah is Joshua, which is the shortened form of the Hebrew origin Yehoshua. Okay, I wanted to show you guys that. Now, I think that the other passage was Hebrews, was it Hebrews 4:8? Let's see if I'm right. It might be Hebrews 8:4. But let's try Hebrews 4:8 first. And by the way, I am in, let me minimize this and show you where I'm at, because I want you guys to have the same tools I have. This is, let me see, Bible Hub right here. Here's the address right here, BibleHub.com. Okay, that is what I am using right now. So we go to, yes, it was Hebrews 4:8. We have in Hebrews 4:8, we have the name Joshua. And it comes from G2424 in the Greek. Again, Jesus or Joshua, equal footing. The name, singular, the name of the Messiah of Hebrew origin, Yehoshua. Okay? And the shortened form of Yehoshua is Yeshua. But like I mentioned before, and I apologize about being redundant, these two names, Jesus and Joshua, are on equal footing. The only reason that Joshua is superior as being the English rendered name of our Messiah is because of age. Okay? Joshua came first. The name Joshua or Yehoshua came first. The name Jesus was not fabricated until the 17th century. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys that. So let's get back to the word study. If I can get my mouse back on my other monitor. Okay, so we went through Acts 7:45, and then we covered Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 8. Okay, now the 2009 edition of the Scriptures, which is right here. This is my copy. I've had this one for 12 or 13 years. This is it's never beyond arm's reach of me when I'm in my office here. But that's my daily go-to study Bible. The 2009 edition of the Scripture shows us below the full form name of Joshua, which is in perfect agreement to what we read in the Strong's Concordance available in the Bible Analyzer 5 program that I showed you, and then in the New American Standard Bible lexicon that I showed you. Okay, so this is coming from the 2009 edition of the Scriptures. They have the name, the full form name of Joshua as Yehoshua. They are hitting the nail right on the head. Okay. Based on all this evidence, we can accurately and correctly state that the shortened form of the Messiah's Hebrew name is Yeshua, which originated in the long form name Yehoshua, which is rendered truthfully in English as Joshua. Okay, further study opportunities are listed below. And I wish I would have put those on one page. Yeah, I think I can maybe, yeah, I can do that here. Yeah, you guys can see that. So I'll leave that up for a minute or so, because I don't know about you guys, but when I watch YouTube videos on my TV, I've got I don't know, 50 something inch TV there, and I've got a 60 something inch TV in my front room there that I watch. When I watch my YouTube videos, when I hit pause because I want to copy something down, well, you got all that stuff in the way. I can't see what I want to copy down. So I just have to keep playing, backing it up, playing it again, backing it up, playing it again, until I can write down what I want to write down. But yeah, these are further study opportunities. I want you guys to have the same tools that I do. Okay, shalom. That's what I have for you guys today. So I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to watch this video. How long have I been going? 52 minutes. So I'll be able to trim this down in my editor and post this hopefully today. But I appreciate you guys taking an interest in my word study videos. And if you found this helpful, informative in any way, then like I mentioned earlier, please feel free and do not hesitate to share this video with your family members and friends. Okay, so I love you guys. I appreciate you being here. And Father willing, we will be with you again in our next Hidden Scriptures word study video. Okay, I love you guys. We'll see you later. Shalom. Bye-bye.